What's good, everybody? What's going on, man? It's Stephen Qualls II, a.k.a. Mr. Qualified. It's your boy. And we're back with another episode of QUALLifiedTV. And this feels weird because I've done this intro before. Y'all just haven't seen it. But nonetheless, still have a very special guest with me today. I will allow her to introduce herself. And then, we're going to hop into the interview as we typically do. But let them know who you are.
So hey y'all, like I said, we've done this before. It's our first time seeing it, but hi, I'm Marjai. I'm a rapper, I'm a poet, I really do it all. Hailing from Kansas City, Big 816, and I'm out here in Columbia because I just graduated from the zoo, and I'm embarking on another journey in my artistic arsenal.
For sure. Much love to KC. Respect. But would you say that you are in love with words?
Yeah, I think that words are one of my love languages, like words of affirmation. So naturally, I feel like poetry and rap and music fits into that. Okay.
And so when did that start for you? Like, when did you fall in love with just the idea of that?
Yeah, it was around like middle school, early high school, and I was like 14 years old. And I don't know, I was looking for an outlet, some way to express myself, and I just stumbled upon like this whole other universe of ways of expressing yourself, which was poetry. Yeah. And then I realized that I was good at it, you know? So when you're good at something, you naturally want to take it on and grow with it. So now we here, damn near 10 years later.
Okay. So if I remember correctly, you did poetry first, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what was it like doing poetry, and when did that transition from poetry to rap happen? Because I do believe that rap is poetry, a form of it essentially. But at least like technically, of course, there are some stark differences. But what was it like starting out in poetry? What was that experience for you, and what did you get comfortable with? And then how did that translate into rapping?
So starting out with poetry, I feel like when you hear the word poetry, you think of like old white dead people or like Langston Hughes or something like that. You don't think about like a beautiful young black woman getting up and saying poetry. So I feel like when I discovered this whole entire art world, I was able to find myself, if that makes sense. So I feel like doing poetry and performing on stages from here to Houston to New York to Costa Rica, from everywhere, you know what I'm international with it.
You did poetry in Costa Rica?
I did. Oh, I studied abroad in Costa Rica.
Okay.
You know, yeah. But also I started rapping out there too. Okay. So that's a part of the journey as well. I just feel like I got to a certain age where I feel like I was ready to rap. I don't know why I feel like rap is such like a grown woman game. And I just feel like when I was 23, I was ready to enter it.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, I feel like rap is a grown woman's game because of its essence, of its roots. When you think about rap, you got to be confident. You got to have some sort of story. You got to have some sort of a life experience. And I feel like what I was trying to say wasn't coming across because I hadn't lived it yet, or I was trying to say it in a way that wasn't my native tongue. So I had to find my own voice. So and I feel like rap also too, especially female rap, is very, I don't know, it just has a certain like punch or je ne sais quoi that like I hadn't unlocked within my, je ne sais quoi. But I hadn't unlocked that in myself yet. So when I had graduated from college and dropped my first song, I was ready. I was like, I got that now, you know what I'm saying? I got my voice, I'm ready.
For sure. So in college, what do you feel like was the development process of your voice and essentially your art? Like, what were kind of the stages or steps, like, in your mind of, okay, I tried this, I learned this, but I realized I needed to do this more? Or, okay, I got to this point, or I reached this threshold, if you will, but there's still this last, like, step or two I need to get to before I feel like I'm really ready. And then what was that moment like when you knew, like, for sure, it's time for me to take that step. It's time for me to get into the big leagues, essentially.
So what made me initially jump off like the ledge into the rap game was it was summer 2023 where I really was like, oh my gosh, I was out here by myself, like adulting. Like, I don't know if they tell you, but like fully supporting yourself is hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? I rap about taking niggas' money, but I really make my own money, okay? Like, I take niggas' money too, but I make most of my own. Right. So I was really just struggling. And like I said, I needed that outlet. And the stuff that I was coming up with and creating.
You can cuss. It's
okay. I'm like, wait, is this
you can cuss. It's fine.
So the shit that I was literally coming up with and experiencing at the time was so crazy. I feel like the only way that I could get it out was rap. And I ended up coming up with my first song, Cutthroat. So I was feeling, with the name Cutthroat, I was going through some shit.
Fair, valid.
So I know. I just felt it. It's a feeling, like when you know something is right and it's the right time, and I just felt like it was.
I feel that. No, that's definitely real. I think that happens in, I would say, any creative process, but also life too. Mm-hmm. And I may reference life a lot, but life be lifing. It be teaching you stuff. But no, I think for any creative person though, there's a point where you have a feeling, and I think it's weird because I don't know if you felt this, but I know for me, I think sometimes you seek that external validation first. So like no matter how you feel, you're looking at, well, is everybody else saying I'm ready? Is everybody else saying I've reached this level? And if they don't say that, or if they aren't saying that, then I'm kind of telling myself, well, then you must not be ready. But it's very important to like have that moment and that hit that point yourself where it's like, I'm here. I'm at this place. And it might take other people a little while to realize that I'm actually at that point, but I'm the first one that got to know anyway.
Yeah, and to play off of that, I feel like, it takes a village with anything.
For
so
sure.
I don't want it to make it seem like, it was just me all alone. I definitely had like my friends at the time, and I had like other musical people, you know what I'm saying, kind of telling me like, actually, this is really good. Yeah. Sometimes you just need to hear like, this is actually good.
Just
like,
one.
All it's 1.5. You could just be like, good. And I'd be like, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? But that one time, just that validation of like, I see you, I hear you. Mm-hmm. That's enough to be all gas, no brakes for me, because I'm delusionally confident in myself. Like I am like you really can't tell me shit. And even if you do tell it to me, I might not even believe you because I don't know. I'm just a black woman. At the end of the day, I feel like that says it all. I'm a black woman.
That's definitely a bar. That's definitely the one.
It is.
To that delusional confidence, do you feel like you always had it? No. Okay. Perfect, because that's a segue into the question. So that first, I won't even start with the first studio session. The first rap that you actually put like pen to pad for. Take us back to that moment, and how did you feel about it in the moment versus how you feel about it now?
Okay. Like I said, it was called Cutthroat. And
that was your first one?
That was my first one. That was my first one, I promise you. I was in Costa Rica. Oh, no. Sorry. I was in Colombia. Wrong C. I was in Colombia. And to be honest, like I said, I was going through a lot of stuff. Like when you're in college, you meet a lot of girls and it's a lot of drama. And I ended up getting into a fight. I'm not going to lie. I ended up getting into a fight. And I literally like lost my voice. And the only way, I swear I was hoarse. I was hoarse. I was tore up. Anyways, the only way that I could really communicate was pen and paper. So I wrote Cutthroat. And I haven't released it yet, like I said. But as I was sitting there, I was so mad. Like I was so mad. And like that was a different place of inspiration. So not all my songs come from like anger, but I was just so mad. And by the time I was done writing down all my bars, I wasn't that mad no more because I'm like, you know what? I just got that shit out there, and I know like I'm not the only person going through this. So yeah, Cutthroat was that first jump. And then once I went through that, I was like, okay, I can rap about all this other stuff.
Nah, that's a hell of a way to start rapping and writing, but the inspiration gotta come from somewhere. So, it happens, know what I'm saying? But, no, that's a really interesting point that you make, though, in terms of the different ways you can pull inspiration. How do you feel like you taught yourself the discernment of, like, how to channel specific things? Like, not always wanting to rap from a place of anger or frustration. Like, how did you start to develop where you want to pull inspiration from, especially as you started like trying to figure out, okay, what do I want my first real project, whether that's an EP, whether that's something full length, like how did that whole process get started?
So I have my notes. I normally write everything down. Like I'm real old school with all of my art and poetry and rapping. But taking inspiration when I feel things, I'm a strong believer in when you feel about it, you write about it. So I have like all my list is full of just things or lines or moments or memories or smells or something that I can come back to and take inspiration from. So those are kind of where I kind of start, and then like that's the little seed, and then I water it, and then it turns into like a full length song. Cause I don't want to always come from anger, even though I be angry a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. As I get more into my art, I think that those type of emotions are getting less and less because I do have that outlet.
No, that's real. And I think that, so go a little bit deeper into how your development as an artist has, I don't want to say it's put it at ease because I don't know that feeling for you internally. But as you develop more, and like you said, as you see that like frustration and anger being inspiration less and less, how has that development piece kind of helped subdue, I guess, like that anger that you feel? Because even in you saying that like that you can be angry a lot, how do you feel like you developing as an artist has helped you kind of combat that anger, I guess?
I feel like
if there's even a relationship
I think there is a correlation, because I feel like that anger could be good motivation, but then once you are motivated and things actually start to like move forward, or you start getting some motion, specifically with the rapping, when shit go good, you can't even focus on the negative. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're hungry, all you can focus is on the food that you're about to eat or that you are eating right now. You're not focused on the next meal or this is that. You're focused on what's in front of you. So I just, you know what I'm saying? Little tidbit. My mom taught me, for real, just be present.
But okay, so to the studio session. First studio session now though, because it's one thing to write, get it out and write and have sound in your head. But when you get to the studio, you know what I'm saying? That first session, that first time you in the booth, what's the experience like? Did you love it immediately? Did you kind of have this sense of like, I don't like to call it imposter syndrome, but did you get in there and be like, am I supposed to be in this booth doing this? I can't even imagine going into a booth. Like, what was that first experience like for you?
So my first studio experience was actually a group experience. So I was the only female there. Okay. So it was very scary. It was very intimidating. I didn't have imposter syndrome, like, am I supposed to be here? But I was like, damn, I got something to prove. Like, I'm carrying like the female, the female on my back right now. So literally, hella people had recorded songs before I recorded my first song, and I went into the studio at 3 a.m. I be in bed at 10:30. I got work at 9 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very responsible. So when I went in the booth at 3 a.m., I was hella tired. But the moment I stepped in there and put those headphones on, I don't know, something came over me. I'm like, I've been waiting for this moment. Like, I'm around all these niggas. I'm the only girl. And I feel like everybody expected me to come in here and say some bullshit. But I'm really about to get in here and be the best rapper of the night. And you know what I did? That nigga gave me 30 minutes. And I laid down 2 songs with ad-libs. I was that prepared. And that night I laid down Cutthroat, and I laid down this song called Cruise Control. So he said, you got 30 minutes? And I was like, bet. That's all I need. I went in there and that's how ready I was to like take this step and enter this journey in my like art.
So how many takes are we talking? If you had 30 minutes, how many takes was it per song?
Not a lot. Like, and that's why also too, these 2 are not released yet, because I want to re-record them. Okay, like no, they're good. I'm not gonna lie, they're good, but I want to add my extra. Now that I've been in it for like 3-4 months, I want to go in there and add some extra stuff. Like, now that I know like my little ad-libs and like, my little flavor.
Your flavors, right?
But no, I really went in there like one take it. I messed up. I was like, cut that shit out. Let's go. I swear, I had my phone. I was in there just 3 a.m. tired as hell. But I'll do it all over again. I love it. I love it. It's so fun.
I feel that. No, and I feel like you gotta love that part of the process. Like, whether it's a late night, whether it's you got to get something like done in a small amount of time. Like, I feel like that's the pressure. Like, that's somewhat of the grind aspect of it that makes it worthwhile. You know, at the end of the day, that's what you put all the work in for. In the studio session, you mentioned being like, you know, the only woman like in the studio, and obviously, as we know, rap, you know, is typically a male-dominated industry, that genre specifically. But we've seen women definitely, like, you know, come in the game, lead a stamp, and we're seeing more and more women be involved in the industry now. What's your take or thoughts on not so much the state, but just in your mind, what has the evolution of women in rap looked like to you, and how has that influenced you in your rap journey up to this point?
I've always been a fan of rap. Like, my mother, she's always been a lover of music, so I feel like she passed on that trait to me. From the Queen Latifahs, from, you know, Black what, like Boom Like an 808, like just from all different eras, literally. So with female rap, I feel like it's always been unapologetic. This sort of like cocky arrogance, but also having fun, being carefree. Like, when you see a female rapper, regardless of whichever content that she talks about, there's this sort of essence to her. And I feel like as a little black girl, I looked up to that. Like that, like, yeah, I'm that bitch, yeah, I don't want now, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these things, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have just inspired me just growing up, because I didn't always be delusionally confident in myself. Right. I had to build myself up from scratch to do poetry, to branch off and to do rapping. Like, so the state of female rap, I love it. I feel like if you got a talent, or if you feel like you can rap, go do it. I feel like there's always something to be said. There's always something to be said, something to be seen. So why not? It's billions of people on this planet. Fuck it, do it. That's how I think about it.
No, that's real. That's a fact. Now, what I will say though, with the music industry, we've seen a lot of people that get into it because of how easy it is to get into it, and because there is a certain, maybe not agenda, maybe more of a sound than anything, an image more than anything, that labels will push because of how music is sold and distributed now. I guess as a rapper, but also as a fan, how do you kind of determine if an artist is, not even so much like an industry plan, but how do you determine if an artist is just there because they're easy to market, or they're there because they have talent that they really want to hone and they really want to develop themselves as an artist, and they have something that will give them a lasting impact versus just a big pop for like a year, and then we might not ever hear from them again?
I mean, marketability is definitely a factor, but authenticity is too. Like, if you actually touch grass with your fans, or touch grass, like what JT is doing right now, where she's going to all these little smaller clubs and smaller bars and like getting ingrained and actually like hitting the ground running, building a fan base. I feel like that's what lacks with a lot of people, because they think it's easy when in reality it just looks easy. A lot of people not willing to do the work. A lot of people want people to do the work for them, and they just take credit for it. But like I said, authenticity, I feel like for me, stands out. Somebody who I can relate to. And I feel like you can tell when somebody passionate. Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like there's a different essence, or a different hunger, or a different aura when you really know, like, yes, this person loves to rap, or this person loves to do poetry, or this person loves to take pictures. Like, you could tell when somebody is genuinely passionate. So sometimes that don't translate into, you know, revenue, or like marketability, or like stardom, but sometimes it do. And I feel like that's gonna happen with me.
Oh, that's facts. That's big facts. 'Cause I was gonna ask, do you feel like that shows up in how the artist like continues to grow? Because I think we'll see artists put out projects, and especially when they first starting out, and maybe you putting out a project that, say, your label wants you to put out. Maybe you putting out what you think people want to hear. But I think something that I've noticed, or something that I've paid attention to, is how do you respond to like the initial reaction to your music? Not so much to say that fans can dictate what you make, but what's your bar? Like, what do you hold? Like, what standard do you hold yourself to? And do you try to always outdo yourself? I think any artist that's like, man, how can I outdo my last my last project or my last thing. I think that's where that passion really comes out, because if you find one thing that worked, you could always just stick with that one thing, be known for that one lane. Yeah. And there's a group of people that's going to always rock with that. But, you know, the people that want to experiment with genres, the people that want to experiment with sounds, I think it takes a lot. And I think if you're willing to do that while also still having that authenticity and staying true to yourself, I think that's where like the passion stands out for me. But yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense. Within rap, and it's funny because it's been the talk of the last month or so, but apparently beef is a thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, beef. Apparently rap beef is back. But there was a long time, I would say before like the recent events of the last month, I feel like we had seen more, you know, women rap beef definitely in like the last 5 years than we had with the men. And I don't want to make it necessarily like singular to the women, but with beef in general, how much of that do you feel like should be a part of rap? Like, should it have a place in rap? Is beef necessary for like the competition aspect of it? Or do you feel like we could do without it? Like, what exactly does beef add to the rap industry?
At the end of the day, rap is entertainment. Just like sports is what is entertainment. With sports also is competition. No matter, whenever it's a market, I feel like there's prone to be some sort of competition. And with competition comes beef. Comes people taking things out of context. Comes backdooring. Comes people moving funny. So I feel like beef comes with the territory. Now, how you respond to that beef, that's where the thing arises. Because it's like, is you going to tolerate it being thrown at you? Is you just going to let it happen? You're not going to respond? Or are you going to actually put your pen to paper, hop in a booth, whether it's shitty or good, and respond? So I feel like this beef, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's a good thing. But I think that it's a part of the territory. Like, just with wrestling, they talk shit to one another, so why can't rappers? Now, it's because rappers be shooting and jumping and, you know, killing. Now, so we don't want it to escalate to that.
Right.
But friendly, back and forth in a booth, song for song, bar for bar, now I support that type of beefing.
So then my question is, what's a friendly beef? What is friendly rap beef? Because I don't know if I've truly seen it, right? Because if we just talking about people putting out fire verses, and you can go verse to verse and be like, oh, well, the way they did this verse or the way they did that verse, and that can be considered the competition or sport aspect of it. I mean, you always got 3 to 5 people calling themselves the best rapper anyway, so you could always analyze. But I feel like with beef, I don't think that beef is about skill. I think that beef becomes about how personal you can get, which is the only thing that I feel like makes it kind of like, how much do I genuinely like it? Now, I am a rap fan, okay? So for the sake of sport of rap, just knowing that it's already a part of history, if you got to get down, you got to get down. But that also leads to a question. So would you start the beef?
Why did I know you was going to go
Like, would you start the beef, or are you only going to engage in the beef if you feel the need to respond? And does every beef need a response?
No, and that's the thing, too. Hey, I'm a Virgo. My first song is Virgos, okay? I really believe, bro, turn the other cheek. I feel like you said, if you start getting too personal, or like you really do say something to rub me, like you got to be disrespectful pretty much. Because I don't tolerate disrespect, period, from nobody. So not everything requires a response, because I really am just not up here. I'm not stable enough. So I wouldn't start the beef by any means, I promise you, but I would finish it. Let's just put it there. I would finish it. I would make a whole song, and it would probably take me 30 minutes.
Look, at the end of the day got to end.
Okay. And that's why I love tomorrow.
Now, just speaking about like Low, and I just even mentioning like all the rappers that are out now. Do you have any rappers that would be like would you say they're your biggest inspiration? Or if I say give me about 3 to 5 that like stand out for you, who would they be?
Yeah, in the current rap game, and I'm gonna go just females right now. I'm gonna go definitely Glorilla. I would have to say Mona Leo out of Houston. I would have to say, of course, JT. I love how she rebranded herself going solo. So I gotta throw Megan in there, of course. Like, I started rapping in college. Like, she was just one of my biggest inspirations. I love her rollouts, real creative. And then an underrated gem, her name is Baby Mother out of Houston. I really just love her wordplay, delivery, beats, all of that. So all them women that I've named, like, I watch, I kind of take notes, see what they doing, and kind of just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can I add my little Marjai flavor or twist, or how can I create my own lane like they did?
Yeah. So even with those that you named, I think between those and even some of the other, like, you know, bigger names, that not bigger, but some of the other names that are out there, I think this is somewhat my opinion, but I feel like there are other people that share it. I think there are a lot of women rappers that it ain't so much that they sound the same. It just feels like different versions of the same thing. And I won't even go as far as saying it's like a force-fed thing, because I don't want to disrespect artistry, because I do feel like that's there and that's a part of it. But what are your thoughts, or what is your take on, I feel like labels, and I feel like the industry tries to push women rappers specifically into a particular lane, one that is over-sexualized, one, you know, that does kind of limit, you know, to a degree their subject matter to be about the same 3 to 5 things. So within that, how have you seen certain rappers like separate themselves from that kind of like general pack, and what about what they've done or what they're doing has allowed them to do that, in your opinion?
So yeah, with these like big corporations, music corporations, I feel like we see a lot more people just staying independent. So they have more control.
Yeah.
They have more say so in the things that they can wear, how they want to put themselves off, the type of music that is getting out there. So I feel like we're in like this beautiful and like really weird place where like you can be your own boss with the shit and kind of take off a little bit or go viral, but the narrative that is being pushed is hella hypersexual, and a lot of these songs do sound the same, which is unfortunate. But I feel like with music, you kind of gotta step out of your comfort zone, you know what I'm saying? Like there's always those people out there who are not, or who are going against the grain or going against the mainstream. And I always end up finding them, and then they always end up blowing up. I don't even know how that happens. But, yeah, independence, I feel like, and that creative freedom, I feel like that's what I want to keep close to me, because I don't like people telling me what to do. But at the end of the day, I know that it's politics and it's marketing and it's actually a game of money, you know? But... yeah, that's how I see it.
No, that's definitely real. Back to you and this project that you're working on. Again, y'all didn't see this, but we talked about it before. But now, because I mean, I think it's probably been like a couple months since the last time. But where is the project at now, and just what has that process been like, actually putting a project together?
Yeah, so the first time we had spoke, I was in like the baby steps in my project, but now, you know, it's a couple months in, and so my project, Hood Nigga Fantasy Volume 1, will be coming out in June, and it will be 7 songs, so it's going to be a little EP, a little mixtape. I might have some visuals to it, and just coming up, honestly, narrowing the songs has been the hardest part, because I'm a writer. Like that, I'm a writer. Like I said, I feel about it, I write about it. So just actually figuring out a good track list. Like, what do I want my what story do I want to tell? That's really it. Because with a name like Hood Nigga Fantasy, you can think of 100 million different things. But you know, with the name. But no, that's really my baby. So just what type of story I want to tell, the track list, and finding my sound. I feel like now every time I step into the booth, I'm getting more confident. I know what I want to say. I know what I want to tell the producer. Like, hey, can you do this? Or I want to try this. You know, let me know how this sounds. So I've just been finding Marjai. I've been trying to perform more, get more comfortable in front of a mic and a live audience. Just build my fan base as well. with the social media, TikTok, Instagram, and just pushing that out there. So my next song off of the project, actually, my next single, is called Gym, Get Your Money, because we about the money. And it's coming out May 17th. So I'm dropping a snippet for that in like a week or two. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, this tape it's some pussy rap in there, but it's about getting your money. You never heard that term?
What in the hell?
Pussy rap.
It's pussy rap.
You never heard of pussy rap?
No.
Pussy rap is just like, what does it sound like?
I mean,
like
this is women talking their shit about that. Okay. I mean, if it's self-explanatory, I get it, but that just I feel like we could have been a little bit more, women, ladies, we could have been a little bit more creative with describing this type of rap. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I understand.
You know what I'm saying? It's not for you.
You're right. You're
It's not for you.
I'm not the main intent. I understand.
So it's like I said, it's a little bit of pussy rap, but it's also just a young 23-year-old woman who's adulting, making money, turning up, living her best life and shit, making music. So Hood Nigga Fantasy, Volume 1, June.
I feel like there's a lot of creative things you can do with a title like that.
Trust me. Trust me. My notebook full of ideas.
I'm already knowing the rollout gonna be crazy.
I think I got the 7. I got the 7. Who knows by the time June actually comes if that will be the 7. But
fair.
When it does come out, like that's my firstborn. So, just be open and just remember that like I can only get better from here and I will get better from here. So shit, hop on a wave while it's low. Cause when that motherfucker high, you can't hop on it.
No, that's a word. That's actually gospel right there. What's your favorite thing about performing live?
Ooh, when I perform, period, like poetry, rap, I don't know what it is, but they tell you to look at like the back. Well, poetry, they tell you to look at the back of the room. With performance, they tell you like look at the audience. Bro, I just black out. Like I don't see. After I say hi, my name is Marjai, I promise you, like I just don't remember nothing. I just let I just let the spirits and the vibes and the energy just guide me. So really, it's the vibes. Like people who was not anticipating seeing you, meeting you, hearing your music, just so happen to stumble upon your performance. Some people intentionally was there, you know what I'm saying? Like some people bought tickets, woo-dee-woo-woo, and I just feel like that energy, that love, like you can't really describe it. And then when you get off stage and that adrenaline kind of like dies down, you like, damn, I really just did that.
I'm weak.
So yeah, while I'm performing, I kind of just be real present and just let myself just be completely free.
What do you want your legacy to be? Or have you even thought that far yet? Because I feel like that's a big question. But have you thought about what you want it to be?
Of course. Of course. My legacy, what I want it to be is if she can do it, I know that I can do it. If that makes sense. Yeah. Like where Marjai came from, she came from Kansas City with little to nothing, with 3 sisters and a single parent, living in homeless shelters and, you know what I'm saying, like having nothing. So if Marjai can come from these roots and do this and do that and find her voice and find poetry and then go into rap and then take over the world and perform on sold out arenas and all of that, if I can grow and evolve and do all that, then you can do it. If I can graduate from college, you can do it. So that's what I want my legacy to be, that nothing is impossible. And if you can think that shit, do that shit. I promise you. Be delusionally confident in yourself.
She's spitting. These are bars that she giving y'all. Not the bars, but
it's wisdom. It's real shit. I ain't gonna lie.
It's gems. No, that's big facts. Gonna do some quick hitter questions before I hit you with the final question. Your favorite female rap album of all time?
Okay, y'all. Not gonna lie, it's a tie, y'all. And I'm speaking like top to bottom. I play top to bottom, no skips. The Pink Print by Nicki Minaj. And I'm not gonna lie, Tina Snow by Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh boy.
And those are two like newer rappers, but I'm telling you, when I heard those two albums top to bottom, it did something to me.
No. Now, Pink Print, for sure. Goated. Tina Snow is also goated, in my opinion.
That's one of the best mixtapes.
As a rap fan, goated. Definitely, I don't feel like, me personally, I don't think Meg's really hit that type of peak, in my personal opinion, since. But
I mean,
might be a dicey take, but
she was hungry then.
She was.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's always a difference between when somebody first starting out and how hungry they are, to when they actually reach that fame, and then like people be like, oh, they switched up. But that Tina Snow mixtape, it was different. She had something to prove, and I feel like that's the type of energy I carry with me. Like, I got something to prove, but I also want to make cute, fun, bad bitch music.
No, that's definitely real. But since you brought up them two albums, Nicki or Meg?
He's trying to get me canceled in the future.
Hey, I can see how this might be a cancelable offense for some.
I'm going to say both. I love both of them. I love both of them. I can't choose.
That's real. At least you stay neutral. There are people that got their side, they done planted their flag, and she said, not I.
I want a feature from both.
Smart. Top 5 women rappers in the game right now. I won't put you through having to put them in order.
Okay.
But just give me the 5.
I mean, my personal opinion, you got Sexy. In my personal opinion, Sexy. Yeah. So it's Sexy Red. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna throw Ice in there, just because I feel like her music is not to be taken too seriously. Like how I take rap seriously, I feel like she really just be completely just carefree, like just making bops in the studio. So I respect it. Flo Milli, like she's a grinder.
Underrated.
Like, is she young as hell? Like, I love girls that are my age, and I can just like, damn. I'm 23 too, and this bitch is over here. Okay, if she can do it, I can do it. Like I said.
Yeah.
So Flo Milli, I got like 8 girls in my head right now, cause 5 is just
it's a tight number right now. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say Lola Brooke, out of New York.
Yeah.
I'm still fucking with Lola. So tiny, but she pack a mean ass, heavy ass punch.
Facts.
Sound like a smoker, but you know she be. I love me some Lola.
Yeah.
And then my number 5, and I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go JT. The City Cinderella.
Yeah, I don't think people really disagree with JT though. I don't think that's like a. I mean, the girls seem to be fans. From what I know. I'm
gonna go see her on Saturday, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna be looking at hoes sideways.
Again, I don't know nothing about that business.
So those is my 5.
No, that's what's up. That's a really, really good 5. Dang, why that question just leave me? I'm gonna get it back. What do you think was the biggest moment or turning point for women in rap, in your opinion? Like, what do you think was the thing, the verse, the album, whatever the moment was? What do you think was like the true, like, you know, turn the corner moment for women in rap?
I would say like the first real one was when Nicki really like hit the scene with like Pink Friday, and she was like the main female dominating. Like when it was just Nicki kind of like running the game. I think that was like super iconic and like shifting. Then like 10 to like 5 years later, kind of like around like 2017, you seen a shift. And I was 17 years old, so I was young as hell. So, you know what I'm saying? But in 2017, and I hate to say it, but like with Cardi B, I feel like Cardi B kind of popularized the around the way girl with social media. Social media played a part in this too, because if social media was around when Nicki was around, I would have gave that to Nicki.
Oh yeah.
But Cardi came up with social media, and she made girls realize that you can rap. Anybody can be a rapper, and that's a good and a bad thing. But I feel like with her opening that door, I feel like it created so many different representations of rappers that we wouldn't have. We got stallions, we got tiny girls out of New York, you know what I'm saying? We got them out the Bay Area, KC, St. Louis, like places that we have never even thought about shining lights on. Women are popping their shit hella hard in because that door was open.
Yeah, no, that's real. I'd agree, really. Definitely Nicki's burst onto the scene in general. I think, yeah, Pink Friday, but I think Nicki's Monster Verse really changed the game for women rap. Just because no, literally, if somebody says that's the verse of the decade for 2010 and 2020, I don't really got an argument for you. Hey. I truly don't. But it's up there. It's in the conversation for sure. But I think for me, it's always been the fact that at that time, her not only holding her own, but having the best verse on that song with the people on that song, just was it was the moment everybody had to realize that, like, no, like a woman could be in this space. A woman could be at this threshold, in rap. But no, like you said, with social media, Cardi, and not in a negative way per se, but like she definitely used that to her advantage. And I've never been one to think that Cardi is not talented. I know there's been a lot of antics and stuff like that and all that, but from a artist standpoint, even with whatever, things you got to say that you dislike, she, for that time, she definitely, I think, cemented women rap in a way that we just can't, discredit. So I would agree. I do think those are two very, very huge moments. Last and final question that I ask everybody that I have the opportunity to interview. So we've talked about how this journey started with falling in love with words, how that turned into poetry, how that turned into rap, how that turned into the artist that you want to be, the artist that you are, the artist that you will be, and the legacy that you will leave. With all the things that you said and discussed, please let the viewers know what makes you qualified.
Well, what makes me qualified is that I get it out the mud. I get it out the mud. I stay true to myself. I think it, I do it, I feel it, I write it, I be it, I see it, I want it, I grab it, and I get it. What makes me qualified is that what wouldn't make me qualified is that delusional confidence. So at the end of the day, as a rapper, I push my pen. I write all my own stuff, and I'm smart as hell and fine as fuck. So that's what makes me qualified.
Ain't got no arguments for me, big dog. But no, thank you again. Thank you again for making sure that we got this done again. Because, man, when I tell you,
about to be funky.
No, I don't know what happened. I don't know where that file is to this day. But no, it blew me. This was just for context, this interview was supposed to release during Women's History Month. That was my, plan. And we had did the interview well before. So I'm thinking we good. Go to edit the interview, missing the back half of the interview. And I'm just like, bro, what? Where could this file possibly be at? That's on me. But we got it done. So I do thank you for that. You've already plugged the project, but is there anything else that you want to plug for the viewers?
No, I'll just reiterate. Like I said, Jim, Get Your Money is coming out May 17th. You can follow me on social media on Instagram at Marjai with 4 eyes, Marjai. On TikTok at Ghetto Jim. I'm on YouTube as well. It's my first name. You know what I'm saying? It's only one in Marjai. So yeah, Hood Nigga Fantasy Volume 1 is coming to you in June. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Until next episode, I'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.